What's up, guys? Your agent Tyler Wayrung here, and today I'm going to be answering one of your comments, one of your questions in the comments that I've gotten right here from at saltynuts-sl22, number 2 TO. But his question is a similar question that I get from a lot of you guys in the emails, phone calls, DMs, etc., on lots of different platforms. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to go answer this in hopes that, and I'll elaborate on it a little more here in hopes that it helps you guys out, and we'll walk through a quick example too. So Salty Nuts' question is, can you pay off a credit card? Can you pay off credit card debt with a HELOC? Or will the banks think that's a big no-no? So first off, I'll just quickly say, if you haven't got your copy yet of the book Unlocking Millions, that's where I talk all about HELOCs and all the different things you can do with them. And I do have a whole chapter on this, specifically paying off credit card debt with a HELOC, why you might do that, what are the pros, cons, etc. But in this video, I'm just going to give you a quick down and dirty, right to the point answer and answer Mr. Salty Nuts' question. Okay, so I'm going to first answer the back half. Will the banks think that's a big no-no? So first of all, with a HELOC, the banks don't get to tell you what you can use the money to do. When you get a HELOC set up, they give you access to account. It's like a new, where your checkings and savings are now. You'll just have one more there that'll just say HELOC. And it'll have a balance there of what you can pull out on your HELOC. And you get to use that however you like. It's your money. It's your equity that you're tapping into. The bank's just giving you an opportunity to do that. So first, I'll just say it's not a big no-no. The banks, they don't have any say in what you use this money to do. Now, the second question, can you pay off your credit card? You absolutely can, and you likely should if you have access to a HELOC. And I'm going to tell you why right now. So let's jump over to my screen. The biggest reason why you would do this is the interest rate on credit cards is likely one of the highest interest rates you can get anywhere else. It's one of the worst financial products ever. It's what keeps a lot of the middle class and poor people in the middle class and poor categories because they use credit cards, which is a horrendous. It should probably be illegal the way that a lot of these credit card companies operate. But we're so dumb that we just keep giving them money, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but you likely know where I'm coming from. So let's look here. Average, I got this Googled up here, and these change all the time, but they're constantly horrible. But the average credit card rate today on a zero balance transfer card is 23.3%. On a no annual fee card, 24%. We'll just go with zero balance. We'll use 23 for this example. And guys, I've seen a lot worse than this. Keep in mind, this is the average. So if you have a bad credit score, you're probably a lot worse off than this. But let's assume here that you're in decent shape. You're average, okay? So average credit card rate, 23%. Average HELOC rate, I already had this Googled here. We'll go down here. According to CBS News 3 days ago, average HELOC interest rate is 10%. Okay, so 13% less than your credit card. So I shot a video I'll link to up here about how HELOC interest rates are formed and how they fluctuate because they are variable interest rates. But I can almost just say that I'll guarantee any day of the week, any year, month category, no matter what interest rates are doing, HELOC rates are going to beat credit card rates every time. If you find one that's different, drop it down below. Call me a liar, but I won't hold my breath for that situation. So big reason why you would do this is you're saving yourself 13% in interest if you were to convert the money that you have on a credit card to a HELOC. And now let's look at a quick example. Here I'm at bankrate.com, minimum payment calculator here. We're just going to use $10,000 because that's a pretty straightforward number. I would guess that a lot of people have a lot more credit card debt than that. But if you're following me, probably not, or hopefully not. Anyways, we're going to use this example. $10,000 at 23%. Keep in mind, this is the average interest rate for credit cards today. If you, we'll just use this same scenario here for both examples. So $10,000 on a credit card, you're looking at a minimum payment of $291.67 every month. And what this is saying here, it's going to take you 352 months to pay that off if you keep making that minimum payment. And basically, in your total interest that you're going to be paying is going to be $18,500 because of this high interest. So basically, and this is why I say it should be illegal to charge this much. But let's compare that to a HELOC, which right now is at 10%. So we'll do that. Dude, are you kidding me? So we're taking your payment down to $183, saving you over $100 a month. And so we were at $18,000 in total interest that you were paying on a credit card. Now you're at $7,000, almost $8,000. We'll call it $8,000. So you basically, let's just say you're saving yourself $10,000. And this is if you made the minimum payment on these credit cards. Now, if you were smart and you could afford that 23% payment, let's say, boom. Let's say you could afford the $291. If you do this, you convert your credit card debt to a HELOC, and then you keep making this $291, even though you only have to make $180 something. You take that extra and just throw it at principal. That will take that $8,000 that you're going to pay and knock it, I'm just going to say, in half again. So, I mean, do I need to go on? This is really a no-brainer if you have a HELOC. If you don't have a HELOC and you have a home with equity, it's really another no-brainer of why you wouldn't open one of these. They're very cheap to open. There's no risk. If you open one and decide you don't want to use it, I mean, just don't use it. I mean, I don't know what else to say there. If you're a person, I'd say the only reason why you shouldn't open one if you're sitting on a good chunk of equity is if you don't trust yourself or you're not responsible enough. You don't trust yourself with access to that additional amount of capital, right? Like if you're a person who, if you get a credit card, you're going to go, you're going to go figure out how to find you some deals to make that work. Don't get yourself a HELOC because you're probably going to get a HELOC open for a lot more than a credit card company is going to give you access to. Tons of people right now are sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity. So, if someone gives you $100,000 and says, here's your HELOC account. If you don't trust yourself with that, absolutely do not get a HELOC because you'll ruin yourself. I mean, it's your equity, but if you don't make the payments, they're going to come after your home, all right? This is where you're raising your kids, your shelter you're putting over your head at night. So, I mean, it's a big deal. But if you're watching this channel, you are, I'm guessing, somewhat likely intelligent enough to not make a silly decision like that. And you're one of the people who is going to make the smart financial decision to convert ridiculous interest rate of a credit card into something much lower, much more reasonable, so you can pay that off and be done with silly debt like that. And then you can move forward and start building wealth, building towards your future life, your future goals, whatever that may be. But guys, I hope you got some value out of this. I hope this was helpful answering some of these questions like that. If you have other questions similar, drop them in the comments below. I'll shoot another video walking you guys through that. But as always, guys, I hope you got some value here. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you checking out this channel. If you haven't done so already, like, subscribe, or share with someone else who might get value from this. I'm Tyler Waveron, and we'll catch you next time.